How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to ReWrite, where, good grief, it's only been like a 1 week. I only missed 1 week, but I feel like it's been so long since we were able to play this game and catch up with Kotori. It's exciting. Some of you mentioned that you were sympathetic, but also like kind of like not so sympathetic in a way about like my impatience with the story and plot moving forward. I was just like, I want stuff to happen. I feel like I just get more questions and never any answers. And you're like, well, and some people were saying things like, yeah, no, it happens, but kind of pointing out like, well, visual novels are like that. And it's like, true, but most of the time I get at least some kind of progression by now. I just think it's interesting. Like everything's just like, there is progression. There's obviously stuff happening. I'm just not cognitively super aware of it yet. And so it's just like, it's putting the crumb trail out there. Like just barely enough to really keep me engaged and really just making it so I'm just asking 1,000,000,001 questions and feeling like I just never get any satisfaction. But I'm sure that'll happen eventually. Still, it's been really fun. The Yoshino video was amazing. I still can't believe it's a real thing that they put in the video, like that they actually put in the game like that. It was just so amazing, and it just reeked of like early YouTube, like some of the first like 5 years of YouTube and like what kind of content you would find there. Like that would have been like prime YouTube content. It was just it was awesome. I was so happy. So yeah, I don't know if like today's gonna be able to keep up with that level of just pure awesome, but you know, we'll see, we'll try. Regardless of that, thank you so much for joining me. Let's just get right in, jump in and see what shenanigans we're gonna get up to today. Alrighty, what are we doing today in the RRS, yo? I know, Akane, I agree. Prez. I feel kind of silly for even having described this, but she's moved around in front of a big screen playing Wii Sports. At least it's healthier than her other games. I don't even feel like cracking a joke about it.
今日はメロンパイなどを作ってみました。すぐに果汁でベタベタになってしまいますので、お早めにお召し上がりください。
これすごく美味しいんですよね。
I like how he definitely made it for Chihaya, but like oh gosh darn it. I should know this. I really should know this. I'm having such Kotori. Okay, I've been talking about it. I'm gonna get more details soon. I kind of just need to get some finalized stuff going through, but I've been getting sick in a way that's been a lot more, let's say, debilitating than a normal thing. Like, you get colds and stuff. Like, that's what held me back last week, was getting a cold, because it made my throat sound super scratchy and just didn't work. But there's a bit more going on beyond that, and unfortunately, I'm gonna go into the details eventually, but one of the downsides is brain fog, and like I'll just spontaneously forget stuff I really should know. Like, it's one thing to lose track of a name in a story like this, you know, even Kotori, you know, like probably my favorite character so far, you know, like that's a little silly for me to forget between weeks, but it's kind of understandable. It's been 2 weeks since I played the game, but it's not just that kind of stuff. Like it's so much more, because it's like I'll forget stuff I was literally talking about like 30 seconds ago. Like, I'll say words, and then when I try to say those words again, I suddenly have no idea what the word is, and I just sit there struggling with it. It's painful. It's like there's nothing worse than like feeling like your own brain isn't trustworthy. But anyway, just FYI, if I really feel like I'm not keeping up with, like, it usually is with names and labels. Concepts I usually have no problem with, and like narrative and story and plot, I really tend to be pretty on point with so far. I don't have any issues. It's just like the very specifics. Anyway. Hi, everyone.
この花さんもいかがでしょう。
私
Aww.
は
遠慮なさらず、人数分ご用意してきましたので、余るともったいないですから。
Alright, so he's made enough for everybody. He's absolutely not gonna give one to us.
そういうことなら、フォークは自前のがあるから大丈夫だ。
はい、ではどうぞ。
It looks like even our class rep has finally become prisoner to the club's sweet sour. Step out of it already, everyone!
なんです。もちろん、なめろうくんの分などご用意しておりませんが。
Licaro. It's Kotaru. And I never expected anything, so that's fine. Listen, everyone. At the present moment, the only ones that successfully found good leads for the club, I wrote down the names on the whiteboard. As you can see, over 90% came from the internet, and I found the rest. The rest of you barely make up 0.1%.
これ疲れるわ。
Akane makes her secretary put away the Wii game. That's what happens when those at the top have no motivation. I clear my throat and start again. Don't you feel like we're not taking this club seriously enough, everyone?
そうは言うが、結局のところ、天王寺の活動だってほとんど成果が上がってないということじゃないか。でも、確かにね。
ネタ集めなんて言っても、どうしたらいいかわからないですし。
知り合いに話聞くくらいしかできないしね。
That's true. Not to mention that none of these people have many friends, if any. Okay. I think we need to increase our numbers. I'm aware of how you feel, Prez, but I believe we're simply have no choice with our present conditions.
わかったわ。
Oh? That's pretty unusual for you to give in so easily.
ただね、絶対に私は手伝わないから。
That was a dramatic reading. Zitaini. Is that how you say it? Zitaini? Oh, okay, can we... Hang on.
絶対に私は手伝わないから。
That's a cool reading. The voice work there is great. Okay. That sure doesn't help kill that sure does help to kill morale at the right out of the gate.
でも、人増やすって誰か当てはあるの？
It's gonna be Yoshino. You can say I do, and you can say I don't.
なんですそれ？
It means nothing. It's just word vomiting. I know those won't give in right away, but a wild wolf certainly would not fancy the idea of being part of our sweets hour after school.
じゃあ、勧誘でもするのか？
I guess that's our only option.
無理だと思うよ。
No.
この時期に新しく部活に入ろうとする人なんてまずいないもの。
And even then, like, most clubs have to have something like to pull people in. Like, isn't that like they show it in like the shows and stuff, but even at my schools growing up, like it still was like if you wanted to be a club that was like impactful and like, you know, long lasting, you had to recruit. And part of recruiting is like making yourself appealing, presenting yourself, making it so people even know you exist and know that there's going to be something worthwhile that they can get out of it. So yeah, like this is going to be a pretty tough battle if we actually are going to try and pull people in. Yeah, I can't imagine anyone would join at a time like this under normal circumstances. But if we created a reason that incited them to want to join no matter what are you going to do? Torture them? Like what happened to me.
理由って？
It can be something small.
おっぱい目当てですっかり部活にハマってる子もいるしね。
Don't bring that back up from the dead, please.
つまり、何かで釣ってくればいいってことですね。
Now it sounds like we're tricking people.
さすがは千早さん。明暗です。
I think the most effective tool would most likely be...
伏したら NG。
死んだらいいんじゃないです？
Hey!
成層圏まで飛びたいようだな。
I didn't even say it!
最低のクズ案ですね。恥ずかしくないですか？
Why do I have to suffer all this just because of a little joke?
小太郎のおっぱいならどうだ？
Yeah, I mean, would someone find that appealing? No one would be interested. And if someone was, I'd really rather not have them in this club. Oh, that's interesting. Double standard there. So you're okay if other people are interested in other people's chests, but if they're interested in yours, they're too creepy. Sense. That's not cool, dude. Huh? Why does she seem so disappointed? Then, let's go with something more traditional. We could invite someone to help us for some kind of compensation, and if they enjoy themselves, they can stick around.
確かにそれはそうですね。
I wonder what we could offer them, though. I imagine I'll be responsible for prepping it, but I'd still appreciate help in coming up with what it could be.
現金。
I mean, that's definitely a motivator. Rejected. I knew she was going to propose that. It's easy to set up, and it'd probably attract quite a few people, but I highly doubt any of them would stay afterwards.
後輩を狙って去年のテスト過去問の傾向と対策をまとめて渡すというのはどうだろう？
Not bad, actually. That could be a thing, especially because it might target like more academic-minded kids. But it also would be difficult because we're all so much older. Like underclassmen are probably going to have a tough time feeling comfortable. Oh, that sounds good. If we're actually capable of doing that. I'm not confident I can. It was class rep's idea, but it's unlikely that she'd agree to do all the work herself. It would have been a good proposal if it was something we were more capable of, though. I throw it on the back burner for now. Any other ideas?
軽井沢の別荘などいかがでしょう
A mansion? Like, I mean, do you have the ability to just give one of those away? What kind of an idiot would hand out real estate for helping a club?
まったくだわ。
おっと、これは申し訳ございません。最近の学生事情などにはとんと疎いものでして。
When have anybody like that? I Sakuya, I don't get. Like, I know he's supposed to be dense in his own weird way, but I still don't like him. There's just something about his personality that rubs me the wrong way. I don't think you've ever been up to date.
学生が固定資産税や維持費を捻出できるわけないでしょ。ここは金炉でね。
I mean, okay, you're also not in touch, but at least a Rolex makes a little more sense. You're just as bad as him.
それなら、タグホイヤーなどの方が若者にはデザイン的な受けがよろしいのでは。
What is that? Let's just leave them in their own little world. Oh. Tag team. Tag Huya.
金ロレって何です？
So she doesn't know whatever that phrase was either. And Chihaya got distracted by the shiny watch, which, you know, honestly, it makes sense. A golden statue of Mr. Rolex.
誰か知りませんけど、欲しがる人いなさそうですね。じゃあ、霜降り和牛1キロ。
You know what? Funny enough, that could be motivating for the right person. But like, where are you getting this? That's more reasonable. Wait, no! My own mind is tainted by the elite. There's no way I could afford that either. Shizuru pulls Suri Furikake out of her pocket. I'm sorry, Shizuru, but I doubt we'll attract many people with that. Anyway, I don't want to use anything that costs money. We need to think of other options.
私の笑顔などいかがでしょう
You know what I hate? I hate that kind of might work. It sucks. Just stop talking already. A second thought.
ミーハーな女子なら普通に来るでしょうね。
I guess so.
さくやはかっこいいですからね。
いえ、それほどでもありません。
No, we can't do that. We might pull on people in, but they'd be only girls. I'd rather increase our male population if I can help it. I'm outnumbered badly enough already. In which case... After lots of discussion, we ended up inviting a special guest. And we all know who it is, right? It's gonna be Best Boy. Yeah! Sorry for calling you out of the blue, Mr. Joke Manager.
聞くのもだりーんだが。
Oh, I know.
今度はなんだ？どんな要件だ？
I was hoping to use your comedic talents to attract new members. So I'd be very much appreciated if you could perform every weekend.
あのな、天王寺。
Sure.
俺はてめえらと仲良し小良しになったつもりなんざみじんもねえ。
Yeah, but you could. It doesn't have to be every week. Once a month? No, at least a semester would be fine.
コケにするつもりしかねえなら、今すぐ俺を返した方が得策なんだが。
いいじゃない。どうせくだらないことしかしていないなら、よりくだらないことを目指してみたらいかが？
Dang. She'd put us above him in usefulness. That's actually kind of sad. Prez, you may not know it, but all things considered, Yoshino is actually quite an impressive guy.
そうなの？私の人生に何の利益ももたらさない三下脇役程度にしか見えないけど。
I'm kind of touched that somehow we have at least a modicum of value in her life. But Yoshino is actually a pretty good guy. Hey, there's such a thing as... Oh, sorry. There's such a thing as being too honest, Prez.
帰る。
Wait, hey! Right, I'll give you a super cool nickname and help spread it through the school.
まず間違いなく俺がてめえをボコにして終わる展開だが。一応聞いといてやる。
That's true. What are we about to pull out of our hat?
妙竹林なファンシー系だった瞬間、俺はてめえの首を狩るぜ。
Okay. You prefer dark and edgy stuff? This time I have to seriously come up with something he'd like. His full name is Yoshino Haruhiko, so something dark. Yoshino. Darkuhiko. I almost burst out laughing, but I suppress it through sheer will alone. You wouldn't like that one. I'll have to come up with something darker. Dang. Yoshino Dakuhiko. It's stuck in my head now. I can't think of anything else. Oh, it's Dakuhiko. Like just adding, like changing his last name slightly to make it sound like dark, isn't it? But if I said that out loud, he'll probably beat me to death here and now.
何プルプルしてんだてめえ。
I'm thinking! I have to break this Dakuhiko's curse somehow. Yoshino Dakuhiko. Ah, crap! Really let go loose if I go any further than this.
時間切れだ。あばよ。
Wait, I got it!
ほう。なんだ。
Arnold Yoshino Dakuhiko. I couldn't help myself.
死ねえ。
A roundhouse kick crashes into my neck.
二度とこんなくだらねえ真似しに呼び出すんじゃねえぞこら。
Yoshino leaves with angry steps.
大変面白い見せ物なのですが。
Dang, slapstick delivery's getting more and more painful to bear.
この様子じゃ、吉野くんとのコラボはまだまだ遠い話だ
I
ね。
mean, to be fair, we've not only recorded him saying some of the cringiest stuff ever, but we then took our footage of him and made a YouTube poop video that was so gloriously terrible that it's going down in one of like a core memory for me at this point. In the end, we couldn't think of anything better, and the recruitment plan went back on the back burner for the time being. But, okay, so this is an example of like, that was a scene. Stuff happened, right? But nothing actually happened still. I mean, it was fun, but I want to know what the heck's going on. Sorry, I'm whining. Homeroom teacher approaches me during the break.
天王寺くん、吉野くんにプリントを持って行ってくれませんか？
First of all, is he sick? I didn't even know he was gone. Second of all, do I actually look like the only person who's his friend? That's kind of sad. Huh? Me? I think he'd be pretty angry if I was the one to do the job.
怒るでしょうね。でも人間関係というのは既成事実の積み重ねですから、今はそれでいいんですよ。
Okay, so she wants us to build bridges. I feel like she just said something pretty profound. That's fine, but I don't know where he lives.
この住所です。
Got it. I'll deliver it to him later.
よろしくお願いしますね。殺伐としたのがお嫌なら、誰か暇な人を連れて行くといいですよ。
Who do I know that has an open schedule?
私か。
Of course I do. I wonder if this is like an indication of the route we're on, which is really interesting that this is the point where it does it. But like, I like how it said like, who has the time? I thought it was going to give me a choice, but instead it's just Kotori. Won't take long.
暇じゃないけど、まあいいよ。
The town is hustling and bustling as usual. It'll only get busier with Harvest Festival just around the corner. You know. Do you think we've changed?
どういう意味でかな？
I've been kind of trying lately, and it seems to be going relatively well. But then at the same time, I feel like I'm missing out on something.
うん。
I know, right? It's like the plot is just leaving us behind. It makes me anxious sometimes.
みんな、多かれ少なかれ、そういうのはあると思うけど。
But oh gosh, oh god, no, this is getting too real now.
小太郎くんはさ、病気とかでいろいろ辛いこともあったから、そのせいだと思うよ。
Yeah, I think you're right. I barely got any memories from when I was hospitalized, though.
でも、時間だけは過ぎてた。だから無意識に取り戻したいって思っちゃうんじゃないかな。
You know, I actually have experienced this too. A memory block, essentially. But it wasn't a hospital stay, per se. When I was a kid, my parents got divorced, but I was like 14, 15. So just as I transitioned from middle school to high school. But having been kind of in a nuclear family, and all things appeared normal until the day they split up. They hid everything really well from us. And even when the entire like proceedings was happening in court, we had no idea. Like they didn't even tell us. They never notified us at all. They kept up appearances going through the whole process. And then one day, Dad was just gone, and he didn't even go far. He went across town. So they were both in our lives, and we were fine. But then we had to just up and pick who we were living with, and then our entire world got kind of turned upside down. And at that time, I was not very capable of handling that very well. So I kind of went into this kind of zombification, I call it. I think what it was is essentially because the emotions were like overbearing for me, I kind of put in a self-defense where I just kind of shut down and just didn't care about anything. I didn't feel anything. I had a girl I was dating that I completely just abandoned. Like just never talked to her anymore. It was a cold shoulder, terrible way to break up with somebody. And it wasn't even something I was consciously choosing either. I just didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I just became so distant that it just kind of fell apart. But like, I still feel guilty about it, honestly, because it's not a cool thing to do. But it wasn't like a conscious decision. It was just kind of a fallout of that state of mind I was in. So I'd go to school every day. I'd do my homework sometimes. I did well enough in my tests to pass my classes. I didn't do any clubs. I hardly spent any time with friends. And that time I spent with friends was always just video games and, something that was distracting. And that problem is that whole year, I think it was my sophomore year of high school. To this day, I don't really have any memories of it. Like, I know it happened. I was present. But there's nothing that happened in that whole year that really sticks in my mind. Like, even like that whole breakup process where I just kind of just abandoned my relationships. I don't even remember doing that or what that was like or even like how people responded, which is really kind of the disturbing part. Like, I'm sure she reached out to me. I'm sure she was trying to figure out what was going on. I just don't remember if she did or what happened there. Like, I might have done a full conversation about like, hey, I don't think we should be together anymore, but I genuinely can't remember. All I know is that like, I just stopped putting any energy into any relationships at all and just never going and doing anything with anybody else except for like the closest of friends. Even then, it was just because it was a good distraction. So I know that the relationship fell apart, but I have no idea why or how. Well, I know why, but like, I don't know the steps really of like how it came about. I don't remember any of the teachers I had that year. I don't remember any significant events that happened that year. On the one hand, it was good because up till that point, I kind of had been living my whole life in like autopilot where I mostly just did what I was expected to do. Like I just kind of went with the flow and just kind of lived my life almost like an NPC, really. After this year of just horrible depression and just like a lack of emotion, I still remember to this day, the day I climbed out of it. I was walking between some buildings at the school and we had a little flower garden. It was in the spring, like just getting close to the end of the school year. And I was walking through that garden and I saw some of these flowers. And I remember I just stopped and like was like looking at them. And it just kind of like, it was almost like I came up from like being underwater and took a breath of fresh air. And it just kind of hit me there. I was just like, I need to do stuff. Like, I need to like make a choice. I need to make decisions. It's weird to say it like that, but like, it was just an epiphany moment where I was just like, I think I'm done. I need to stop wallowing in my misery. I need to just confront my emotions, move forward, and decide who I want to be. And it was then when I really started deciding and making choices to do things because I wanted to, not just because they were expected of me. It's when I branched out my social circle, when I started like new hobbies. That's when I first started watching anime with friends. It was when I first started writing in a way, like seriously, rather than just random like short stories and like self-inserts, but actually trying to craft good stories. It was when I started trying to go on dates again. It was when I started like choosing the extracurricular activities that I was interested in doing and dropping ones I wasn't interested in doing but had been doing just because I'd already been doing them. It's really interesting. And I think a lot of it, even then, was on a subconscious level. Like she just said, I kind of understood I'd just given up essentially a year of my life, and I wanted that time back, or at the very least, I didn't want to give up anymore. So, interesting. He, of course, had a medical issue. That's something that's well beyond your control. My, mid-childhood crisis was just simply me not processing and handling a very dramatic life-changing event. But it's not like it's the worst thing that could ever happen to people. Like, it feels bad, but at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that bad. I just didn't know how to process it, and I didn't allow myself to process it for a long time. It was really unhealthy. Definitely something I don't recommend, but, life doesn't always happen the way you should do it. You just gotta learn from it and move on. Maybe it's because I'm hiding things from everyone?
それは違うよ。誰だって隠し事ぐらいするよ。私だって秘密はいっぱいあるんだよ。
I wonder what kind of secrets you have. Because some of the secrets I imagine are things like I hide coins in my left shoe or something. I'm sure they're all pretty funny. Like how you round down your weight and such.
それいいね。
Hiding stuff like that only makes you cute.
かわいい女になりたいね。
Yeah. But my memories are flowing through a muddy river. Always happens when I try remembering the past. Hey, do you remember what I was sick with?
なんだっけね。難しい名前の病気。でも今は治って安心。
Free of worry, you say.
安心。
It's hard to actually be upset and worried with that, It's like problems don't just go away. But she almost makes you believe that it could be gone. That it just vanished and it's never coming back.
だから前向いて生きてきなよ。欲しかったもの手に入れながら。
Yeah.
正当な権利なんだから。
I sense an odd hint of wistfulness in Kotori's words.
この辺りじゃない？吉野くんち。
Yeah, that's right. It's here somewhere. I never thought Yoshino would skip school over something as wimpy as a cold.
人にうつさないように休んだんじゃないかな。
Yet, oddly enough, Yoshino is probably the most responsible person we've actually seen. He's the most cringy, and he's really goofy and funny. But, he's kind of whipped, the downtown gangs into shape. He doesn't go to school when he has a cold out of respect for others. He's a good guy. Ah, here's the sign. This has to be his house.
おー、広いお庭。
Looks like a house that's perfectly average. Happy household. There's no doorbell on the gate. I guess that means we can go straight to the door. I open the iron gate and proceed to the door. Push the doorbell a bunch of times, but no one comes out. Why would you push it a bunch of times? That's super rude. Is he not home?
鳴ってない気がするね。
Maybe it's broken. I suppose there's no choice but to try calling for him. Or knocking. Suddenly, Yoshino's muffled voice reaches for me from the side.
あっちにいるみたい。
Guess it's okay if we just walk over. I can hand him his printouts directly like a good Samaritan I am. We stroll to the yard and take a peek through the open window. Yoshino's lying on the bed. He's wearing clean white pajamas, which clashes with his usual image. It would look much more natural if he were covered in skulls or something, but nope. And because of this, neither Kotori nor I can find it in ourselves to strike up a conversation right off the bat. So we're just gonna creepily stare at him through the window. Yoshino isn't asleep, instead he's flipping through some rock-themed magazine. Yo! Right when I'm finally about to call out, it happens.
ママ、梨剥いてくれよ。
What? My world warps. Mama? I would have exploded into laughter if it didn't manage to cover my mouth right then and there. Even Kotori's covering her face, shaking as she does her best to control herself. I didn't think she'll be able to hold out for long. Oh no. I embrace her shoulders and retreat from the area. And then I let it all out. I'd never be able to look at his face again.
ダメだよ。笑ったら。
Oh, so cute. This won't be, I don't think that this will make a great thumbnail, but I love it. Kotori. Kotori's almost tearing up from her attempts to contain this laughter. I think we should seal this incident away in our hearts.
それがいいね。あれは多分、吉野くんの聖域だよ。
Man, that really shook me up. We stick the printouts in Yoshino's mailbox and leave. Just like Kotori said, everyone has secrets. I understand that very well now. That was cute. All right, October 30th. So we're a day before Halloween. By the way, October, best month of the year. It just is. Fall's the best season of the year. October is like the best part of fall, where usually the leaves are like changing and looking beautiful. It's not too cold yet. It's just great. I've been waiting for this day. The time for my quest is nigh. I don't want to get out. I don't want to go to school today. Why can't it be after school already? By pumping myself up before my grand adventure. What grand adventure? What are we doing today? And so school's over. We'll make our move after filling our stomachs. I bought a convenience store lunch today. I need to hurry to the club room and decide on today's lead. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people. Huh? Nobody's here. Not even Akane. Well, whatever. I check over all the leads I've collected and try to pick the most interesting one. Well, the interesting one's the underground ruins. Haunted house on lease with no money down. Monster in the forest, legend of the wooden man. Mysterious structure in town, ghost location, a T-Rex living in 20th century 80. What? What is that even? I'd say mysterious structure or a haunted house on lease with no money down. I think the structure is the more interesting one because I think that might be the ruins. Let's try this. A haunted building. Well, for starters, I should wait for everyone to gather in the club room. I wonder how much that choice matters.
血文字はやんちゃなガキの落書き。
Way to ruin the mood right off the bat.
死体の噂はマネキン。
I'd appreciate it if you let me finish.
心霊スポット。
Do you know of it?
小学校の頃、絶対に誰も近寄らない廃屋があったね。
Oh, I had one of those too. It wasn't a building though, it was a back lot. Like, you know, every school's got that story of like, that's where they bury dead bodies. Really? Where was it?
学校の裏の林の中。
I can't quite remember.
思い返してみれば、いっぱい噂があったよ。化け物とか、殺人鬼が住んでるとか、幽霊の声が聞こえるとか。
Sounds typical for kids. Dang. I remember the girls tend to like ghost stories and such.
より探索の意味がなくなったわね。都市伝説の類は大半が小学生のヨタ話。
She's got a point.
上半身だけの妖怪なんかその最たるものね。元は何がしかの創作で、あとは子供たちがうる覚えで脚色。
I'm not so sure. Maybe that's more of a Japan thing of monsters with only upper bodies. I've never heard of one story about that.
結果、時速140キロの速度で匍匐前進してくる。なんて奇妙珍妙な設定が生まれていくのだわ。
Now that is a thing. I grew up in the western United States, and there's a cryptid that's often referred to mostly in the southwestern United States, but we were close enough to it, had family that lived down that way, so we definitely heard the stories about skinwalkers. Ancient, like it's a cryptid story passed down through Native American tribes of like, okay, so like depending on who you ask, you'll hear different stuff, but essentially, like the idea was that it was like twisted shamans who used like unholy rites to contact like demonic entities and make pacts with them, trading their souls for like eternal life. And part of the abilities that came with it was the ability to transform their shape. So like these were like humanoid beings that could but like became more animalistic like by nature, where they'd have like if you've ever watched or played Until Dawn, like the Wendigos, like the Wendigo is essentially another name for the same kind of phenomena, except the Skinwalker is one that's able to transform into animals, but like twisted animals. like a bear that's like too big and partially rotten, or like a wolf with like glowing eyes and like really sharp fangs, oversized jaws. But other than that, like the appearance and description is very similar to Wendigo's. So yeah, that was the one I grew up with hearing that was the most like intense. But one of the things was that it could run really, really fast.
そんなのに追いかけられてる状態で速度なんて測ってるわけないですしね。
Yeah, the reason why people said it would run fast would be things like people would be driving in cars and say some weird like humanoid shape was chasing them and keeping speed with them on the highway. You're so freaking dumb. You only need one look at a speedometer to tell if you were in a car.
だとしたらどれだけ強靭な体なのかしらね。
Magic.
両手だけで体を引きずって動いていたら地面に削れてなくなってしまうんじゃない？
That's true.
決し
That's one nasty image you just gave me.
まあテケテケの話はもういいだろう。
Teke Teke. Oh, so it has a name.
そうね。心霊スポットの書き込みならすでにいくつか寄せられているわ。
Right. I saw we had some online. I checked the comments on the blog again. Anonymous second year or redacted class. Title Ghost Location. There's some woods close to my house. Heard a murder happened there and they're closing it to the public now. Investigate it for me. Thanks. Thankies. Am I the one who gets irritated at the sight of that word?
でも内容はまともだよ。我慢我慢。
Anonymous first year of redacted class. Title Ghost Location. I remember hearing boys in elementary school talking about that. Like there were rooms with lots of charms attached to the walls and there were letters spelling out curses on them and so on. It'd be cool if ORS could check it out. I'd be too scared to go there myself. See, this is the thing we could do. Yeah, even if there's nothing there, we could make a report about it. Like, I think Kotarou's like too focused on actually like finding real stuff. He could still have a lot of fun disproving stuff, which I think would be a very valid, especially for something calling themselves the Occult Research Society. Like, the Occult Research Society seemed at first just to be fans of the occult and just collecting stuff. But what he could actually do is go and, like, Ghost Hunter style, prove these things wrong and find reasonable explanations for them and publish them. Like, at first people might be a little disappointed, but then at the same time I think they would be, like, it'd be interesting for them to see, like, how mundane things get twisted into these stories, and that could actually take off. That could be a really cool thing. Man, I'd love to make that a YouTube channel. That would be the coolest channel ever. I just don't have the resources for something like, well, maybe I do. No, I don't. But that would be fun. It would be really cool to make an entire channel about like researching local or occult sightings, cryptids, and all that stuff, but like trying to find reasonable explanations that make sense. Like, Ghost Hunter shows have to hype it up to try and make it look like they're actually finding stuff occasionally, or like they might have found something that they kind of disprove later. But like, no, what if you just actually have an objective, like, stay in an area recording stuff and like have a reasonable talk about it, right? Excuse me. So like, and you know, if you have like stuff you can't explain, I don't know, talk to a professional about it, or at least like mark it down and be like, all right, this might be worth reinvestigating, you know? That'd be cool. That'd be such a fun channel. There's gotta be somebody who's already done that, right? Like, I can't be the only person who's thought of it this way. I know there's Ghost Hunter stuff out there, but like I said, it tends to be the dramatized, like, sensationalist stuff. Like, I'd love to have a grounded, genuine, like, let's see why people think these things are happening. Oh, that girl's a first year. I see.
どこに食いついてるんです？でも、これは私様情報の裏が取れたと見てよろしいかと。
Yeah. All right, let's go check it out then.
私は後から行くわ。
Huh? Will you really come?
ほっといていいならそれでいいけど。
No, I'd love you to come with us.
最初から来てくれた方が何かと助かるんですけど。その廃墟はどこの管理下なのかしらね。交番の中まで調査したいなら、私は何もせず、ただついていくわ。
She's literally going to get his permission to check it out. In short, she's going to make sure our activities won't attract the eyes of the law enforcement. Your help is much appreciated.
ええ、廃墟か。不良なたまり場なんかになってなければいいんだが。
It probably has. We've got 2 damage dealers to support and 2 support healers in the party. It'll be a piece of cake. Wait, damage dealers will be Lucia, And who's the other one? I guess we're bringing Boy Toy with us. We'd have that. But like the healers with Kotori and Suzuru, maybe? Because she's definitely like support. Because she does her like really cute chants. Damage shields. Oh, okay, of course. Chihaya. How did I forget Chihaya? She's literally the walking tank. Support slash healers.
小太郎くんは
I'm the quest giver. My main weapon is courage.
村人
村人か。
村人ですね。
Shizuru, you're the only one I can trust.
お花屋さん。
You know what? I'll take it. In short, a villager. NPC energy here. Should be somewhere near here. We're in the woods in the middle of the residential district. It's not so rare in Kazamatsuri. Any land left unattended would soon turn into thick woods here. It's like where I live right now. It's like, geez, you have like any untended land, you just leave it for like a couple years. Like there's a lot nearby where like they cleared a bunch of just like woods because they were building something nearby, but like they didn't bring the housing project as far as I think they were originally thinking they would, because they cleared out a big section and then didn't do anything with it. It's been 2 years and there's already like 100 new trees that are growing there. Like they're small still, but like there's so many of them. I sense hesitation in the girl's steps. To be honest, I feel the same way. It might be an abandoned building, but we can't rule out the possibility of getting reported to police for trespassing. Akane may be able to do something with whoever's managing the place, but I have to wonder if even her influence can extend to actual government. I need to say something to cheer everyone up before things start taking sour. Kotori. Can you say something that would brighten up the atmosphere a little? Looks like everyone's out of it from the foreboding terror.
それは小太郎くんの仕事じゃ。
I think a gag of yours would work better in this case. Mine don't carry as much healing power.
私が本気出したら腹抱えちまって行軍不能だ。
Yeah, something like that will do.
じゃあ、小学校の頃の体育教師の鷲塚先生が組体操の時にかける号令の真似。
He must have left an impression.
赤塚基準、組体操の体型に開け
なんだそれは。
Yeah, that brings back memories. That was a bit too much of an inside joke.
超似てた。
It was pretty adorable. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure he didn't sound that old, though.
小学校の頃の最高の持ちネタだ。
Oh, so she was theming it based on like that. Yeah. Seems like I've made a fatal tactical error in assigning personnel.
なんですそれ。
Though it still seems to have worked on a few easily amused members.
さすが。ちーちゃんは違いのわかる女だね。
Yeah. After a while, we reach something that looks like a building. This is it. I can barely make out the structure through all the trees growing around it. Looks like a prefab house built on top of an even older building.
見ろ。
Hmm?
入り口に板が打ち付けてあるようだ。中に入れないぞ。
It might have more than one entrance, though. I see. We've got to open it up somehow.
開け
What? I've heard enough of Wash Shizuka for today.
えへ。
I guess we've got no choice but to pull these planks away.
いいのかそんなことして。
Absolutely not, but we're doing it anyway. We just have to return it to how it was later. Start pulling on the plank. Okay, that's not working.
そりゃあ、そう簡単に剥がれるようじゃ、バリケードの意味もないだろう。
Hey, Gorilla Girl, Chihaya. Can you try? Fine, let's use the Chihaya cannon to blow through this obnoxious door.
いや、出ませんって。
千早キャノンもないとなると、どうしたものか。
I like how even Lucia, like, understands how how unusually strong she is.
別に普通にひっぺがせばいいじゃないですか。
Yeah, normal people. I feel like you'd pull the whole wall away if I let you do that.
そんなことないです。やってみます。
She places her hand on one of the planks.
ん
She puts on strength into it. And she begins trickling from, sand begins trickling from underneath the plank.
やめるんだち。このままでは本当に崩壊してしまう。
Good job, Suzuru. You must have hammered those things extra thick nails into the main pillar or something.
参ったね、こりゃ。
I didn't know a normal person could crack concrete with their bare hands. Shizuru gestures at the rear of the building. What is it? You want to use the Chihaya drill to open holes in the wall?
いや、ドリルも出ませんけど。
千早ドリルでは無理だが、裏手に別の入り口があるかもしれないな。
Thank you for being a voice of reason. Let's check. We circle around the building. Ah, there's something. Looks like there's a back entrance that's been left half open. Rust covered the doorknob while the sides of the door are rotting away. Yeesh. This place. It sounds like it's gonna cave in if we go in there. I peek through the gap, but it's too dark to see inside. Light stretches across the floor for a few steps, but it fails to illuminate anything in this other side of the room. Did we better have come here with flashlights. I'm having second thoughts about this.
ここまで来て何を言っている？調査だろ？
But
つべこべ言わずに、とりあえず入ってみたらいいじゃないですか。
stupid. What if I get killed by something wearing a bloody mask in the moment I get in?
バカってなんです。そんなことを怖がってる小太郎の方がよっぽどバカです。
She has a point, and if we did get killed or even attempted to be killed, it would prove that this place is haunted or at least is super dangerous. Shizuru silently places her hand on the doorknob. Hey!
しずる、気をつけろ。
Shizuru nods. Hey, wait, if we're going in, then I might as well go in the front. I make Shizuru step away as I walk inside. He's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing this, but I definitely don't feel comfortable sending you through first. Can't see anything. Turn on the flashlight I brought, which shines some light on the wall in front of me. I can make out a crimson line painting a picture of a deformed face staring back at me. Classic. Yeah!
何女の子みたいな悲鳴あげてるんです？
Look! Oh my god, what is that?
うわ、誰かのいたずらかね。
It looks like something a lunatic would draw with blood on the wall. God, there's help me written on that wall.
落ち着きなさいな。
I'm scared. This craft got real.
まったく。言い出しっぺのお前がそんなんでどうするんだ？
Yeah, You take the lead, class rep. I'm too scared.
私はただの手伝いだ。
Then you can go ahead, Shizuru. I would not dare to assume the position of leadership, my lord. A straggler's way is carved too deep into my flesh and bones, I imagine you're saying. Kotori?
私はモブキャラで十分。
Class rep.
なんで私だけ無視するんですか？
No, I may be panicked, but I'm not so far gone to think putting you in the lead's a good idea.
別にいいですけど、なんか腹立ちますね。小太郎くんがシャンとしてくれなきゃ調査進まないよ。
I'm scared.
そう言ってもね。
Then at least tell one of your jokes to brighten the mood, Kotori.
笑いで吹き飛ばせと申すか。
More like the healing effect that comes after, but I don't want to shelter her confidence.
じゃあ、お箱のモノマネシリーズで。ネタフリよろ。
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Something to soothe my soul. Horror story narrator. Do the travel guy show. Do it with passion. You know what? Kotori is the best when she's trying to do passion. Do it with passion.
オーケー？
怖いって何ですか？言い訳してるんじゃないですか？
Not what I expected.
どうしてそこで諦めんの？諦めんな！できる！岡村さんやればできる！
Why Okumura?
富士山は汗をかかない。でも、俺たちはかく！
My name's not Okumura. Okumura. And I didn't even get the last line. But I got soothed by Kotori's energies nevertheless.
よくわからないですけど。
That's the point. Doesn't make sense. Chihaya trots over to the bloody picture on the wall. Stop! You're gonna activate the curse!
これ、スプレーで書いただけみたいですよ。
What? Are you implying these aren't records of murder written in blood of the victims?
なんなんですか、その発想の飛躍っぷり。小太郎くんのはいつものことだ。そうですけどね。
Shizuru too approaches the wall and gives it a long look. What is it? You want to destroy the wall with your Chihaya bunker?
人をロボ扱いしないでください。
Not even like a robot. Like at this point she's like a weapon, like a gun you just point at stuff.
恐怖くんと名付けよ
Wait, my name? Any child would cry if they were named like that.
う。もう。
しかし、荒れ放題だな。どうやら他にも侵入していた人がいるようだ。
ルチア。 なんだ？何か見つかったのか？どう思う？この恐怖くん。いや、別にどうとも。結構新しい絵みたいですね。地位は。いや、私にもよくわかりません。もう、理解されぬ。
Aww. Give her head pats. Huh? Wait, wasn't this place sealed and stuff?
そんなことはないようだ。まだ新しい缶やペットボトルなんかも落ちている。
Then someone might actually be here. Running into someone actually living here would be a whole different kind of scary.
とりあえず、いろいろ探ってみる？
Yeah, if you find yourself unable to escape, remember to use the shotgun against zombies, everyone. Take care not to end up as a researcher sandwich.
生物的危険要因。
And so we begin the investigation. Yes! We get to explore. God, I kind of want to just explore right now, but it's also been a while. And I feel like we're going to get caught up in a bunch of stuff. So we'll save this for later, unfortunately. It's not the greatest place to end things, but I don't want this going too long. And I've got like other stuff I need to get to. So we'll have to save the rest of this adventure for next week. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a fun one. It's very cute. Seeing Yoshino in his true form. We got to spend some more time with Kotori, which of course is always great. And I like how we're actually doing an investigation. This might not be plot related per se, but it's a lot more along the lines of kind of like what I was expecting the game to do. Because for a club that we joined and kind of founded essentially, or refounded, about occult research, we were doing very little actual research. But this actually feels like a research trip, which is really fun. So I'm really excited to see how this all plays out. I'm also kind of curious though, if I'd chosen different things at one point, would we be doing a different kind of investigation? It'd be interesting to know. But regardless of that, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed yourselves today. Hope you enjoyed seeing the content coming back to a more regular schedule. Thank you for your patience. Sorry that the illness kind of took me out of the game for a bit, but you know, it happens. And I know that it's not like, I'm not really apologizing because, you know, get sick, it happens. But I do still, like, I apologize because I know, like, a lot of you are looking forward to this episode, and I was looking forward to this episode too. So like, I can really empathize because, like, it's depressing not being able to make videos because I love it so much. I especially am grateful for those of you who support me directly through Patreon. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and I don't deserve how awesome you are and how wonderfully you treat me. So please, thank you so much. No one, from the bottom of my heart, it means so much. There should be a Patreon cast coming out. I know I've been off the wagon for a bit, but Patreon cast should be resuming for this month, so keep an eye out for it. But until the next video, watching me, see me next. I'll see you there.